What's up, people? It's a horror night with the Scary Snobs. It's your boy Sturdy.
Jason, I can't wait to talk to you, man. A lot is going on in the horror world this week, and we're going to talk about Scream, but you had just mentioned you're getting snow in your area. And one of my favorite things to do as a kid during snow days, especially when we knew ahead of time that we probably were going to get a snow day, is run out to the local video store, get those 5 for 5 for 5 movies, stack up on some horror flicks, and then just stay inside and do a binge.
See, we did a mix of both because we would always be at the movie because the place would be at the movie place. Screen Gem, shout out Screen Gems, was like right up the street from both places we lived, just a further walk from one and the other. And it was one of those places like, you go there all the time. Like, yeah, hook them up with a free movie because they come here all. It was a loyal, like you're loyal there. Like when they went out of business, they sold. Like I went up there and bought so many damn Super Nintendo games. Another story. But we would do that, but like during the day, we'd be out there, like how we were just talking off cameras, like shoveling and stuff, like around because there's a storm coming up. But this is back when kids would be shoveling in the neighborhoods, and you know how that goes. You and a couple friends. If you got some siblings, it's you. Maybe 5, 6 kids, and you're just going around shoveling different neighborhoods and all that stuff, making a few dollars. And sometimes you all save up to get together just to order a pizza. Like your goal is to order. We always had a goal. We had an end goal. And the funny thing is we were all determined. We were like, yo, we're going to do it. And we found a way to do it every single time. And thinking about it in life, it's like, just imagine if we apply that in things that you really wanted to do. And just like, no matter what, you keep doing it over and over, even though you have other things you got to take care of in life. I understand that you got to work your 9 to 5 and all that, but you should still be able to follow your dreams, figure out a way to do it. Even if it's giving yourself 20 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, just boom, 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 boom. And then those 10 minutes turn into 20 minutes. Or it's like, you know what? These 10 minutes these days, I'm going to add it all up. So Saturday, I got, 60 minutes. I got a whole hour today to forget the rest of the week. Like, give me a full hour to really follow your dreams, people. That's what I'm getting at with that. Like, trying to do the podcast. Love doing this. Love doing this.
Absolutely. And there's a reason. It wasn't just because I was feeling lazy yesterday that I asked to record the day later than we normally do. It's so we can do a full review of The Last of Us. And then we'll have to wait a week.
Here's the thing. Remember, man, I do my watch parties on Wednesdays. I didn't watch it yet. So I won't watch till tomorrow.
I'll give a spoiler-free review of the episode because it's good. It sticks to landing. That's all you need to know. It's fantastic writing. This show it continues to like impress me, and I'm very, very sad that we're gonna have to wait a year or a year and a half or 2 years, however long it takes in between seasons to get more.
Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry.
That's good.
There's some emotional moments though.
Yeah, I know, man. Like I'm not gonna front. I didn't cry, but I got a little like that little choke up in your throat where you're just like, oh shit, man, this is ridiculous. It's a TV show, man. But damn.
But you guys can check out Sturdy's spoiler review and my spoiler review coming out on our separate channels this week.
Yes, of Screams. Oh yeah. Honestly, I haven't been doing reviews, and I'm kicking myself in the ass now because I do watch parties for these shows. I'm doing it right now for I'm on the last episode of it now. Or we'll be on the last episode of it tomorrow, but for Wednesday, I should say. The Last of Us, sorry. And I'm doing the Stranger Things. We're doing season 2 right now, on episode 3 and 4. And I'm like, this whole time, every time I watch this, I can do a quick review right after I do the 2 episodes or 1 episode, just do a quick review of what I just watched. Boom, put it out there. Easy, more content. And I just think about this later in the season. So I'm like, do I just wait till I start a whole new show now? Like, I don't want to start with the Last of Us episode 9. Like, here's my review of this.
I've been doing the 1 minute reviews on YouTube and TikTok for everything I watch. I'm releasing reviews for now.
Smart. See, that's easy. And you don't even have to give a deep dive. Just say, this is what I feel about this movie. Boom, I give it a 10. Boom, 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 boom. 100 likes. I'll give you a deeper dive on why. Something. Anyway, let's just let the cat out the bag, man. Let's just dive right into Scream 6. Let's just dive right
We
in.
saw Scream 6. Now, before we get into our review for Scream 6, when I found out Nev Campbell was not in Scream 6, in my mind, I start, like everybody does for Star Wars, we start making what could be up in our heads. And as a huge stan of the Scream franchise, I did that. I'm like, okay, Nev Campbell isn't going back. What do we do in 6? Scream is always referential. So what if the killers in Scream 6, this is not spoilers, this is just was my, what if, this is not at all the plot of Scream 6. So I'm like, what if in Scream 6, the motive is that they're upset about the reboot. And so they're out to kill anybody and everything that was associated with Richie's reboot in Scream 5, which is why Nev's not there, because they're trying to get back to the original continuity of the Stab movies. I thought that would have been a perfect Scream 6. Mm-hmm. Now, with all of that being said, I love this movie. From the opening sequence where you think it's going in one direction and then you think it's over and then it doesn't end. Like, first off, suspend disbelief when you're watching this movie, because there's a lot of things like the odds of this happening at the same time it's not likely, but it's fun, so go with it. So the opening sequence I thought was one of the best in the franchise.
Okay, can we do spoilers?
If you want to. Do we have a spoiler thingy to throw up?
I can make something up in a second.
We can always tell Mick to throw it up.
I could throw something up. I just gotta create something really quick.
Yeah, we'll do some spoilers, everybody. We're gonna spoil this crap out of Scream 6 for you guys. While Sturdy is teeing it up, I just want to say there are some issues I have with this movie, but they're nitpicks for me. At least they didn't take away from the overall enjoyment of this film. But one of the things since Scream 2 has been afraid to do, and we got the spoiler alert on, so I'm going right into it. One of the things the Scream franchise has been afraid to do until 5 was kill main characters. We finally saw them do that again in 5 with Dewey. Now, Scream 6, it's the same thing. They're afraid to commit to killing anybody that's important to or left over from 5. The people that everybody loves. There's a lot of characters in this movie that should be dead.
Agreed. But I feel like with the whole Nev Campbell thing, maybe if she's in this movie, one or two of them do die. But they're like, since she was in this, let's carry it over. Maybe I'm not saying I heard anything, people, because I don't fucking know shit. But I'm saying maybe we can work something out with her in the next film, depending how this film does financially. This, that, the third, and boom. Because now they did mention, what's her name? Did mention something about Sydney. Tell Sydney I didn't go out. What'd she say? He didn't get me. Tell Sydney he didn't get me or something like that. And I'm like, okay. So maybe in part 7, maybe.
Yeah, they mentioned Sydney early in the movie too, that she went off with her kids and Mark to safety,
which works very well. So even that works with the whole, okay, so our big star is having a dispute right now with finances, whatever the case may be. Let's try to work this out. With 6, she's not going to make it. Maybe she'll make it for 7. 7's not coming out for another year, so we still have time to kind of do something. And hopefully we can work something out. Hopefully it works out. I honestly hope it works out. I'm not a fan of this franchise, but I still want to see it through. Like, I remember, as a matter of fact, me and my wife went to go see this movie Saturday, which it was packed, which is awesome. Going to a horror movie, seeing it packed. And anyways, we went to go see it Saturday. And I remember I stopped in this one shop. What the heck is it called? Sassy Satellite, I believe. It's in Viaport Mall. And I was talking to them for a minute because I shoot the shit with them. They sold like nostalgic toys and puzzle, all kinds of nostalgic stuff in there. So I go in there and check them out and all this stuff. I was telling him I was going to see Scream 6. He's like, what are you expecting? He's like, you got high expectations? I was like, honestly, no. I was like, I'm not a fan. I'm not trying to bash him. I was being honest with him. I was like, I'm honestly not a fan of this franchise at all, but I'm a completionist. He was like, you're a good man for that or something. And I went to, we went to go see Scream 6. And I'll tell you what I did. I'm going to start with the positives. But I'll tell you what I did appreciate. And I did do a sturdy review over there. You can check out what I said. But basically, I said, what I did appreciate was the Friday the 13th references, the appreciations. Oh, I loved it. I mean, there's one part where the dude is clearly watching Jason Takes Manhattan. You have that. You have they bring up the final chapter. I forgot the other one they mentioned. I don't know how I forgot, but I forgot the other one they mentioned because they each had two different favorites, I believe.
I think it was part 3 and 4.
3 and 4?
I think. I need to see this movie again. I've only seen it once. I'm disappointed in myself. I had plans to see it 3 times and it didn't happen. But yeah, no, I think it was 3 and 4.
But there was that. And then there was one. Well, anyways, there was that. They mentioned that. And they mentioned one of them said that they used to have a crush on Corey Feldman from watching the final chapter. And there's one that I feel it paid homage to is if you watch the Friday the 13th films, you know Jason throws people through shit. Shit, he got it from his mama because she started that shit in the first one. And in this one, dude gets thrown through like a freaking glass something. And I remember not reading spoilers, but reading like how they were paying a lot of homage to Jason Takes Manhattan. And yes, that shit happens. So I'm like, okay, I respect it for that. And the gore, I respect it. I was like the gore, and I like how they had like the Pinhead, Michael Myers, and the kind of shit like that. I was like, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. My brother said I missed it, but he said that they had like a at one point they had like Wednesday pop figure type things made out of something, and he said there was some. I think he said there was somebody's dressed as Wednesday. You kind of seen quick glimpse of the camera during the party scene or something. I forgot exactly. He was like, if you blink, he would have missed both those. But I was like, oh fuck. But
I know you didn't like the movie, but did you have any level of fun watching it?
Oh, I have. Okay, I'll say this. I don't enjoy the franchise, but I don't have a bad time watching it. Like, it's not one of those movies like, it's not like a Blood Lake. If you don't know what Blood Lake is, go find out for yourself. It is on Tubi. I don't recommend it. It's the one from 1987. It is horrible. I watched it twice, but I do think you should check it out if you think you've seen terrible movies. And at the very least, that's the best I could do to give these guys credit. And I want ownership of this film for some weird reason. So if we could work something out under $1,000, let's talk. I'm serious. Why? Because why the fuck not? Why not own a movie I hate that I feel is the worst movie in the world? Sorry for swearing if I swore.
One of my negatives is there's a line about 20 minutes into the movie, and again, with spoilers, everybody, where Tara's roommate says that she had a brother that died, and we find out that her dad's a cop. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's her dad. In my mind, I knew immediately that was one of the killers.
I didn't even pick it up from that, to be honest with you. I didn't even think about that. I just thought it was her dad from, like, not too long after you meet him in the movie, just because the way he's acting. I'm like, he's definitely one of the killers of the killer or whatever. Because I didn't know there was multiple. At first, you didn't know there was multiple killers. How do you feel, or just because we're on this scene, we're talking about the dad, how do you feel about the whole kind of, I guess I would say paying homage or maybe copying / biting, trying to grab like that torch, that flame, positive fire, with the mask being kind of distorted, Halloween-esque?
Well,
how do you feel about that?
First, let me finish my thought with the dad. And then when you see the roommate get killed, you don't see the roommate get killed. Her body just falls out and, she's there. I'm like, she's a killer too, because we didn't see her die on camera. But this is one of the things I was disappointed in. And like I said, talking about my expectations or what I was hoping this movie would be with the shrine of ghost faces. I thought we were counting down to, deleting the reboot and getting back to where we were. And them using the old masks and stuff, I felt was wasted. It didn't mean anything. I mean, in the long run of things, it could have just been another ghost face mask. I mean, obviously it makes sense that Richie would have this stuff, but as far as what I don't understand what he was counting down to. Like, why are we counting down the Billy and Stu? Like, there's no Stu reveal in this movie.
I think Billy and Stu only because of the tie with Billy and his daughter. I think that's my guess. I don't know 100%. I do. Here's I got another positive. That shrine was pretty cool. The shrine was cool, and the reason why I say that is because as a horror fan, I'm like, what horror fan wouldn't want that shrine?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I'm not talking in the movie, in the story of that being the real crime scene shit. People stuff shit. I said shit stuff. I'm working on it. But no, the real crime scene stuff. You know, it'd be the movie Warren. Yes, heck yeah, I'd want that. I don't care if it's Scream. I don't like that movie. I'd still want that would be a oh. You don't have to be a fan of that franchise to want that collection.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I love that collection, 1000%.
Oh yeah.
I just wish they had been utilized a little bit more. Like it had more significance to the plot, other than showing how big of a fan Richie was. We kind of already picked up on that.
I kind of wish and feel, because you find out there's a theater in there. They should have did a marathon of the stab movies in there, and some kills and some crazy shit so started happening in that theater. For one reason or another, people are disappearing.
Yeah, that would have been fun. I liked Hayden Panettiere a lot. It's fun to see her back on the screen. I like that her character, while grown up and now an FBI agent, hadn't changed in her love of horror. And this movie said something that I've been saying for as long as I can remember. Psycho 2 is the most underrated horror film of all time. You guys should totally check it out. Scream agrees with me, and I'm glad they said it, because more people need to watch Psycho 2.
You know what? Let's challenge that. Why don't we review that?
Okay, I'm down.
For our next episode. I know we don't usually do reviews, but let's do that for our next episode. And just to see what we both feel about it. I'm not saying that you're wrong, because you're right for your opinion, but just to kind of see what we feel as a duo, so to speak.
I mean, I've heard mixed people say that. It was fun to see my opinion like immortalized on screen. The Psycho 3 is just a generic slasher, and Psycho 4 was a made-for-TV movie, but Psycho 2 was something special. But no, I'm down. Let's do that. That'd be so much fun to talk to you about that. But there's a lot to love in this movie. Like I said, just the commitment to kills. Like if you want to do one, like in Scream 2, when we got another one, you find out Dewey's alive, even though he's been stabbed 37 times.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to do that with the boyfriend, fine. But you did it with more than one character in this movie. And I don't think it was necessary. Like, in my opinion, I think Gail died. And then they did a test screening. So they added those 2 lines at the end saying, oh, good thing Gail survived. So we know that, she's in the next movie. Same thing happened with Mindy on the train. She gets stabbed and you think she's out for the count, and she's not.
Yeah, but I feel with the one character not being in this, I feel some of those kills may have been different. Even if she's in this and she dies, but with her not being in this, I feel like it does take away. Because I'm sure there is fans of hers that are they're dedicated to this series, where it's like, that's also my favorite actress in horror. You know what I mean? Like she's my favorite actress in this movie, in this franchise. So if she's not in it, I'm not watching. I'm sure there's maybe not a ton, and I'm not no disrespect, maybe not a ton. I don't know, but maybe there's a few people that just didn't go see it. Like say out of 100 people, maybe 10 people didn't go see it because of that factor.
I think that
I could be wrong.
I think that number would have been higher had Wednesday not been a hit. So, yeah, all the people that were going to see it because of Sydney was like, well, if Nev's not in it, I'm not going to go see it. And then they watched Wednesday on Netflix, and they're like, Jenna Ortega's a star. Like, I'm going to go check out Scream 6.
The first thing I seen Jenna Ortega in was X. That's my first introduction to Jenna Ortega. I know she's from like Disney Channel or whatever, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm sure she's done other movies besides X, but that's what I first got introduced as. And then, of course, she did the amazing job on Wednesday. She was great in Scream 5. Or no, sorry, Scream 5. Scream 5 is where I got introduced to her. So Scream 5 and 6, I thought she did a great job in it. Like, it's cool seeing younger men and women in these horror films that are going to be like the icons in the next 10 years. Mm-hmm. And for them, it's cool seeing them being like we're at that right age. I'm 37. I'm going to be 38 in November. And we're at like that right age to where we could see these ones that are in their 20s to 30s grow up and really become something, and see what they are by like 40, 50 years old. And we're going to be older, yeah, so we're going to be young enough to still remember it and be like, you know what I mean? We're at that right, like, oh, okay, cool. We're going to see those next people to where like the kids where we were growing up, they're going to be talking about these people for like the next 50, 60 years and so on. And that's so awesome.
It really is. But everybody, if you're into horror, go check out Scream 6. If you like the franchise, you're in for a wild ride.
Oh, yeah.
This movie is fun. That's the best way I can put it. It's number 3 on my rankings, which a lot of people did not like my rankings of the Scream movies on the internet. So that's fun. But yeah, go check it out, guys, because it was fun.
And listen, people, I know I've been saying this a lot, people, and I've been saying this a lot for a damn good reason. And the reason is this movie is amazing. You need to go see Cocaine Bear, people. You really need to go see Cocaine Bear. Just because it's don't bring your children either. I seen complaints online. It's called Cocaine Bear. Don't bring your kids. Spoiler alert, don't bring your kids. I mean, come on, people. Cocaine Bear. That's not kid friendly at all.
Yeah, unless you're a cool parent, then take your kids. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. If you're a cool parent, if you're one of those parents that's more loose with it, it depends on how old your kid is. Like if it was me, I'd say about 10, 12, but more loose with it. But anyway, back to Scream 6. Let's see. Yeah, like I just don't like the movies at all, but there's some cool things about each thing. Like I like the Ghostface mask. I love the getup of it and stuff like that. And the kills and the gore in this one was great. It was top notch.
Yeah.
And then again with the Friday the 13th aspects of it, I mean, you had the whole subway scene. It wasn't the same as the one for Friday the 13th, but it was, you got the kind of the feel, I guess, of it in a sense. And of course, definitely the New York City, the New York thing, New York / Canada, we know, but the new Canada thing. But I mean, I had a fun time overall. Me and my wife always have a good time going to the movies and watching whatever we watch. Which this was movie number 10, by the way, in theaters this year, which is probably more than I've ever went in 1 year alone in my lifetime that I can think of. But it's awesome.
Yeah, I've been going to 2 movies a week. Today I checked out Uncle Sam, which if you haven't seen it, it's a fun little slasher.
Okay. I haven't
It's
seen
about
it.
This kid's uncle who dies overseas, comes back and starts killing all the people that are not patriotic. It's a fun flick, guys. Check it out. Like, it was fun. It's not gonna win any awards. It's not, high caliber, but it's a slasher, and I love slasher movies, and it's funny in a way too. So, you watched any good horror flicks this week?
Actually, the one that I was telling you guys about last week that I was going to watch, I think it was after this show, actually, was Hunt Her, Kill Her, which I did drop a review for that. It's like I guess you'd kind of call it an invasion, but she's at work when this is going on. I don't want to give the story away too much because it's one of those ones. It's definitely worth, like, if you can catch it, if it is in theaters near you. I don't know where it is in theaters everywhere, but if it is in theaters near you, it's worth the watch. If you can get it renting it online or whatever the case may be, it's worth it. It's a pretty good movie. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's pretty action packed, and there's some blood in it. Like I had a good time with it, and this is a movie where you're rooting for the main character the whole freaking movie. You're rooting for her. And that's not normal with me with watching something that's like a horror aspect, because I'm always, depending on what it is, like Friday the 13th, I'm always rooting for Jason, something like that. But no, this was you're just like, yeah, definitely check it out. Hunt Her, Kill Her is the movie. And then, I mean, the only thing I've been watching, like I told you, I started with the watch parties I do on Wednesdays and Fridays. I just watched episode 8 of The Last of Us this past Wednesday, and then episode 1 and 2, season 2 of Stranger Things. So this coming Friday is gonna be 3 and 4, and episode 9 of The Last of Us. And then after that's gonna be Chucky. So it's gonna be Chucky and Stranger Things for a little bit until something new comes out. But
is it your first time through Stranger Things?
No, I went up through season 3, and then me and the wife were gonna do season 4, but we wanted to start just to get like a refresher because it was a long time since we watched it, and it took a while with new shows. It took a little bit, so now we just started over with the watch party. There's like nothing new coming out right now, And I'm gonna keep Wednesdays like the new show. So like when a new horror show drops, so that'll be like my Wednesday thing. Fridays will be more random between horror and non-horror stuff and shows and movies and all that fun jazz. But you got to come co-host with me sometimes, man. You'll have a fun time.
I'm down. Let me know when you get the Chucky.
Oh, that's that'll be coming up. It's coming up soon.
Right. I'm down. We've talked about it to nauseum, so I won't get into it. But that's a good show.
I do have a couple of things I can pull up real quick. Let me start with this one right here. Share screen. Just to finish off on the scream tip, I guess. Oops. Bring this bad boy on over here. The Jason Takes Manhattan Easter egg, what I was just talking about a little bit. I'm gotta really read it, but just to kind of.
Yeah, and they had the movie playing on in the apartment.
Yep. I noticed that right up. Like I kept leaning over to my wife. I was like, she was like, I know. I'll lean over again. I know. I was so excited about those parts though. Like I love stuff like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're paying some respect. They're paying some homage. Okay, now here's Bloody Disgusting. The Exorcist is going to be a film trilogy.
Yeah.
In the new trilogy. I didn't know it was going to be a trilogy.
I'm excited about that. No, I did see that it was going to be a trilogy. I didn't know it was coming out this year. At least I don't know that I realized it was coming out this year, but that's awesome.
The Pope's one is connected to this one, right? Or is it something different?
I think it's something different. The Pope's Exorcist, I thought looked pretty good.
That's coming out next month.
Yeah.
From my wife. I think my wife told me that. What's this one? This is just something. Okay, so I showed this one for a reason. Because one, I need to remind my stupid self to use this damn app called Screenbox. It's like $5 a month. It's very similar to Shudder, not as big, but it has just like a bunch of random horror movies on there, some gems. And I mean, this just happens to be a Vietnamese box office hit. I'm sure it's dope. I love, excuse me if I'm wrong, but if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, the Asian type films and all that. And I mean, look at that. Look at that cover, man. Tell me that doesn't look like it's a good time.
I love the Asian cinema horror scene. It is amazing.
You know what's great about it too? You know what the best part about it is? The kids. And the reason why I say that is because they're not afraid to take it there with the kids to make the kids either, I mean, something like this, but no, make the kids look scary as like just wow. Like, oh, that'd give a normal kid nightmares, but your kids are just doing this like it's nothing. And then, really quick, last thing on Scream, the Scream 6, the box office. Oops.
That blows my mind that Scream hasn't had a higher opening than that before this, but that's great.
That's awesome. That's just domestic. You know what? Again, I know I'm not a fan of the franchise because I'm not, but I'm happy with those numbers because that means such great things for horror in a sense of more finances going towards it. The bad thing about it is, I'll pull this spoiler alert thing down. Let me find it. The bad thing about it is I don't want it to get watered down. Like, I don't want it to be to the point where I don't ever want horror to be to the point where it's trying to fit in that box of making everybody happy and everybody accept it, because horror was never that, and it never should be. I know there's certain forms and certain movies in horror that are like that talk about an important message with this, that, and the third, which is great. I love those for that. But we don't need every single horror movie being that. That would destroy it. So I hope horror does get the finances it does deserve, the backing it does deserve, the respect it does deserve, the love it does deserve. But without the, pouring that water on top of it, on, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you gotta water that down. No, you gotta make them pages more saggy. Not with blood. Just throw that away. Here, we'll write it. We'll write it. Like, what the heck? This is supposed to be a bloody movie. Now you're talking about gummy bears? No, forget it. We'll go back to our cheap budget.
Have you seen the movie Becky?
Becky. No, I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, you should. It's great. It is a good suspense. They're making a sequel. It's called The Wrath of Becky. The original one has Kevin James as a bad guy, and it's
Really?
he plays. I can't remember what they're doing there. They come to the house almost like in a stranger's way, but they're not. They come into the house. They take the people hostage. The daughter goes on a killing spree and slowly starts taking them out one by one. And it is a movie that if you read, the cast, you'd be like, "There's no way this is good." It is great.
Wow.
And I just saw that they're making a sequel for it, and I can't wait. I am very excited about this, and you need to watch this, Sturdy. You will love this. It is so much fun. It is so bloody too. It is a bloody good time.
I like this. I like this. So now we gotta start giving each other homework once a week. Okay. So you're telling me to watch Becky, which just send it to me in a message too, and I'll try to watch that this week and let you know how I feel about it by next week. Try to have a review for you as well. And then I'll give you one if you're able to get to it. But Hunt Her, Kill Her, just because that's the latest one I've seen. That's the latest one I can think of.
Okay, I'll make that happen. I've got X on my list to watch this week too because I haven't seen that either.
Oh, that's such a oh my goodness. I'm so and here we got to talk about this. I'm so jealous that, in a sense, that you haven't seen X yet. Just because I would love to go back to that first time watching that movie. That's how much I enjoyed that movie. It's like, because when you're seeing it for the first time, it's like, oh my gosh, whoa. And oh man, like I can't wait for Maxine to come out, and I can't wait for them to come out with some sort of special edition box set because I'm getting that for X, Maxine, and Pearl. And then I'm gonna watch them in the correct way, Pearl, X, Maxine, and just see how well they connect and just enjoy that ride.
Is that the order? Should I watch Pearl first?
Yeah, because Pearl's the prequel.
Okay.
Pearl's the prequel. But of course, X came out. It was the bigger, louder movie, so to speak. I guess you could say the more action. No, Pearl gets down though. They're both good. I think Pearl's more like psychotic in a sense. Or you see. You know what? I say start with Pearl. Start with Pearl because, like, I watched X, so that's what came out first. But start with Pearl because you'll have a better understanding of her in X. You'll understand. I'm not saying you'll get it why she is the way she is 1,000%, but you'll get some sort of okay. I get some. I can understand. Actually, you can understand quite a bit. Not to lie, and I only seen both those movies once. Maybe I've seen X twice, but I gotta watch those again. Those are they're phenomenal films, man. They're really good. Like, if I had a movies of the year list for not movies that came out last year, but movies that I seen for the first time last year, those two would be in my probably top 3, maybe top 5, definitely top 5, maybe top 3, maybe top 2. I don't know because I'd have to go. That's a long list to go over. I don't even feel like thinking about that. But they were good. They were really, really, really good. I got another movie for you, actually. Instead of Hunt, if you haven't seen this one as well, The Sadness.
That's on my list. I added that to my Amazon queue the other day.
Okay, cool. That was, like, and the reason I'm going to tell you right now, I say it's my favorite zombie flick, and the reason why I call it a zombie flick, and if people want to call it an infection, it's my favorite infection horror flick because it says something about a zombie on the movie cover. I'm just going by what it's talking about. What they called it is what I'm just going by. I understand the rules, the zombie rules, and all that, people, but they're different. I mean, they're zombies. They're not real. They're different rules. I guess I don't know, but that movie it's sick. It's twisted. It's intense. If you have a sick sense of humor, you're gonna laugh a lot. I did. Oh my god, gory's an understatement, which I just loved. Oh, it's such a good time, man. I gotta watch that again. Oh, I love that freaking movie.
I just read Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey is back in theaters this weekend. I might add that to my weekend, go to the theaters and check out. My daughter and everybody's out of town for the next, like, from Friday to Friday, so I'm gonna have a lot of time this weekend to go check out some movies, so I might add that to the list.
wish you lived closer, man. I'd tag along. Like, let's go. Let's go. Where are we going? What are we going to see?
Come to Ohio where the season changes every hour.
I feel like New York's the same damn way. Oh, man. What do you have coming up for your shows, though?
I'm doing a spoiler review with a friend of the show, Jesse Camacho, who was in Lock and Key and
Sweet.
Working Moms on Netflix. He got a small part in Scream. He's got a line at the frat party. You saw the movie, so when the whole stuff is going down on the stairs and the guy yells, that's the psycho lady. That's him, and he's coming on to talk to us about his experience. And he already talked to us about his experience, but we're gonna review it in full spoilers because he's got issues with the film too, but he absolutely loved it. He's a stan like me of that franchise, so it'll be fun.
I would love to get him on Horror Research 30. Hey, I'd love to get him on right here on the scene, the Scary Snobs as well, if we could.
I can make that happen.
I think we should do that. Maybe we should make him our first interview right on here, if you want to.
I'll talk to him.
We could
see what he's up for. But I'm reading right now that Sam Raimi is hoping to still get Bruce Campbell to be in another Evil Dead movie with him directing.
That will be a fun time. That'll be a really fun time. I can't say it'll be good or great, but I know it'll be It'll be very, very enjoyable. It'll be a great time. I know that, but I can't say that. I don't know how the movie will be itself as far as being a good movie. Let's be fair. Let's be fair with it. Let's not just use our Bruce Campbell fandom and say that every single movie he's in is good. It's like they're entertaining, they're fun, they're the type of movies that he's supposed to be in, so it works. And Evil Dead does that, though. Evil Dead does that because it can do that with the fun, gore, creepy horror, kill stuff that you enjoy, and then still be kind of silly. Like it does a little mix of both. Well, with the first two especially, with the third one, it got way more silly than it did.
Did you watch Ash vs. Evil Dead?
No.
That was a perfect combination between the horror and the slapstick that Bruce Campbell is now known for. Ash vs. Evil Dead is great.
What is that on?
It was on Stars. I think it's on Netflix also.
I'm gonna look into that. I'm definitely gonna look into that because I need to check that out. And I'll tell you off air actually because I got some ideas now in the back of my mind.
Nice, yeah. I want to see Ash team up with the lady from the Evil Dead quote unquote remake. Because I love that character too. I'd love to see the two of them take on some Deadites together in a bloody massacre.
Oh man, and that's what I loved about the 2013 one. That was my favorite one because the gore, and it was just, oh my god, especially at the end when it was raining blood. And oh my god, it was so beautiful.
Evil Dead Rises looks like it's going to be in the same vein. That movie looks terrifying.
Good. And again, I skip trailers. Like I'll be in the theaters, I'll be looking down at my phone. That's when I'll get up and go pee. If I gotta pee, go grab more snacks, whatever. I do whatever I can because if it's a horror trailer, or anything else, I don't care. I'll watch it. But if it's horror, I'll put my head down and just ignore it. If I have to, I'll hear it, yeah, but I'm not paying any mind to it. I just want to go to the movie theater and just see them. Like I wish, like kind of like a Blu-ray, how you could just skip all that. I wish you could just do that in the theater. Like, look, if we could get enough if like 10 of us skip in here, or 75% of the theater skips trailers, we could just skip the trailers, skip the trailers to start the movie. We're gonna come back for the other movies. We know they're coming out. You don't need to tell us they're coming out. You could just say the date. Hey, this movie's coming. Just show us the movie cover. This is coming out here. This is coming out here. This is coming out here. It's coming out here. Boom. That's all we need. We don't need the trailers. I'm speaking for a lot of people. I know that I am, and I'm sorry. Just throw the trailers on YouTube. Let people watch them when they feel like it. Don't throw them in front of us in the movies. You throw enough nonsense in there with the snacks and everything else, getting us all hungry, waiting 45 minutes for you to show a movie. Stop working on black time theaters. You can't tell me a movie starts at 5:30 and you started at 6:30. That's not right. I show up there early. That's not easy being me.
So Freddie Prinze Jr. found out that he was going to be in a I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot at the same time we did. So Freddie told 2Fab, I have been offered nothing. They just said that to get people excited. I haven't spoken to anyone at their company. My agents haven't received any offer from them whatsoever. I had a conversation with the director a few days after they announced that, just to be like, yo, what the hell? Why are they saying I'm going to be in a movie I'm probably not going to be in? And she said, let me pitch you the idea. So she's spoken to me about the idea, but I haven't said yes yet. I haven't received an offer. I have no reason to lie to anyone. I have no skin in the game. I'm only going to do things that I like and work with people that I like. And there's not going to be any wiggle room this time around. I messed up the first time around. This time, I just want to do stuff I'm passionate about. So kudos to Freddie. I hope they get you in this movie. I'm curious to see what the idea is. The studios love to do that. Like when they announced Star Trek 4, don't wait, folks, we're not going to get into Star Trek 4 talk, but they announced Star Trek 4 with the original cast. And then like the next day, the original cast is like, we know nothing.
As fans of just anything, even if it's just a fan of an actor or actress or a group of actors and actresses, it sucks so much when that happens. When you're like, oh my God, so-and-so's going to, like, Kane Hodder and Robert Englund's going to be in this movie? And Felissa Rose? Really? What the? Oh my goodness, really? And then you're like, oh no, never mind. None of them are going to be in it. Why did you tell me? Why did you stop lying to me? Just be honest. I'm going to watch it either way. More than likely, I'm going to watch it either way. And, oh man, that bothers me so much.
I want to see, like, I'm still curious how they reboot this franchise. I think the best bet would be to completely reboot it and not bring anybody back, but we'll see.
For what?
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh. They're going to bring somebody back because of the nostalgia thing, and it works for some things, yes, but I don't think it works for everything. And honestly, it depends as messed up as it is to say this because it's so superficial, but it really depends on how the person looks. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be any type of way, but it really depends on how the person. And of course, yes, it's after makeup and stuff, but makeup and stuff can only do so much, or it can only hide so much. You know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, yes, this character, and unless they age well. If they're aging well, that's a whole different story. But if they're aging because they've been drinking and drugging for the past 40 years since they did that movie and that's basically what they did with that money, that's gonna be a rough look. So they're gonna be like, you know what? Let's do a reboot. Let's not do the old cast. Let's do a reboot because they're a bunch of crackheads now. It's sad, but it happens.
So Joe Blow has a list of their best 90s slasher films. There's 5 movies on this list. I'm going to read them to you. I want you to tell me what you think. So we have Wishmaster. These are not in any particular order. Wishmaster, Urban Legend, Candyman, Scream, and Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
I'm not mad at any of those. I'd have to see what else came out in those years, though. I believe a Friday the 13th did. And I'm always going to throw that in there for a slasher just because it's my favorite of all time. But
I think Jason Goes to Hell would have been the one released in the 90s.
You're probably right.
And then Jason X maybe was released in the 90s.
90s or early 2000s. Did Jason X come out in 2000? I kind of hope it did.
Jason X came out at the same time as Basketball.
So that's like 99,
huh? 2001.
Jeez. That's such a disappointment. Jason X should have came out in 2000. You know how much corny commercials they could have made around that to promote it because it's coming out in the year 2000?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you guys messed up.
I haven't seen Wishmaster yet.
I have. They're enjoyable. They're fun. Like they're worth a watch. They're definitely worth at least a one-time watch. And honestly, I think there's 3 of them. I think I gotta go through it again.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth watching them all though. Like it's worth going through them all. Just if you can find them, just going through them and watching them all. Like if you're that type of person too. Like I'm the type of person. If again, I said with Scream, like I'm a completionist. If I start a franchise, I feel like I have to finish them. And on top of that, I feel like what I'm going to do, I mentioned this on my review, next year when the next Scream comes out, part 7, I'm going to watch 1 through 6 just to kind of refresh myself because I never do with those movies. Here and there I will. Like here and there I'll watch them. Like if I know one's coming out in like a year or whatever. Or sometimes I'll just go through them and watch them. Like once every few years I'll just go through them and watch them just because. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna do that next year and watch them all the way up till when 7 comes out. Maybe close to when 7 comes out. Maybe like a week or 2 ahead before. Kind of go through them, watch them, and
I want if you guys are watching us live, let us know what your favorite slasher from the 90s was. Because I feel like there's more than this 5, but
Oh,
nothing's popping out. Like there's some runner-ups that they have mentioned, Ice Cream Man, Bride of Chucky, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, but I feel like there's ones out there that are maybe better than some of these. So let us know in the comments below.
probably some smaller name ones, some less known ones, and you already know they're better. You already know that there's a lot that are better. Probably that can be on that top 5 list or top whatever list you want to call it. That's a tough thing with top 5 lists because we're not necessarily picking the best movie as horror fans. We're picking the ones that we enjoy the most, that we want to sit down and watch, that are the best to us in a sense, but maybe not the best movies. I guess you would say in like a critic sense, but then again, you would say that with anything you enjoy. But in a critic sense, like, oh, how you guys enjoy this movie? This is terrible. Like, how don't you enjoy it? You're overthinking this, man.
All right, Joe Blow, you convinced me to watch Ice Cream Man. I'm gonna do it.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. I have it on DVD somewhere around here.
So why isn't the Leprechaun represented on this list, folks?
That's a tough one.
Those movies are fun.
They okay. All right. I listen to this. I got it.
He even raps with Ice-T in one of them.
Story time, people. Leprechaun 4, Leprechaun in Space. Right. Reviewed this on Horror Research 30. If not last year, definitely the year before. And when, again, I have a wheel on my show. I have multiple wheels. When it picks like the category, what wheel we're picking, and off that wheel it picks the movies for the next week, for the following week. And when it picked Leprechaun 4, I was so excited. I've never seen it at this time. I was like, oh yeah, Leprechaun in Space. Cheering, yelling, swearing, all kinds of craziness. And then I watched the movie. And I came for the review. And all that excitement was gone.
I haven't seen In Space. That's the only one. I haven't seen In Space, and I haven't seen Back to the Hood. I've seen In the Hood, but not Back to
In the Hood is hilarious. Back to the Hood is another one I feel like we need to review. Just because. Those ones are fun, though. Those ones are usually fun and funny. But, yeah, that one In Space, I would love to know how you feel about that movie as well.
I'll have to check it out. Did you know there's an Amityville in Space?
I heard about it. I did not see it yet. See, those are I love how those are the ones. This is what I love about horror fans. And I mean, no disrespect when I say this, but I mean the ones that will dig in the crates, like the one that will be the kid that will be, all right, listen, Jason, it's your turn this week because I did it last week. You have to dig to the bottom to get that first movie that was dropped in here and pull it out. And you get it, and it's freaking whatever the heck it is, and that's what we want. Why do you guys keep going for those movies? Because everybody's going to watch Halloween. Everybody's going to watch Scream. Everybody's going to watch Friday the 13th. We've already seen those movies. We already own those movies in like 18 different ways you could own them. We're waiting for 2 more sets to come out before we get this one. Shut up.
All right, folks. I like bad Amityville movies. I do. I'm going to watch Amityville in Space if I can find it, and Amityville Thanksgiving before next week's show.
Oh.
And I will report back. They look awful. They look awful. They look like somebody spent $6 on a 92 Windows computer to make this special effects in this movie.
Yeah, that makes me excited. I believe I own one of those movies. I have it somewhere around here. I gotta find it. But I do have what is it called? The Sawyer Massacres.
Mm-hmm.
The indie. Did you hear about that one? The indie film. Indie horror film. Let me try to grab the case that I'm knocking anything over.
The Sawyer family was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family, right?
Yes, sir. I still have it in freaking plastic. The Sawyer Family Massacre. It is on YouTube as well. I'm actually thinking about doing a watch party for it in the near future, to be honest with you. Yeah, because that's something I do want to watch very soon and review it. And it's got some good reviews, which I never go by. I go by reviews from podcasters and from some YouTube comments, depending on what they're saying in it, depending on how they're giving if it's a negative or a positive, if they're like, this sucks, boo, and that's it, of course, I'm going to ignore that. But if they're like, okay, this is the reason why I don't like this movie, blah, 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 giving more detail, okay, I can respect that. But critics and all that, Rotten Tomatoes, and whatever else there is, I don't believe them. I don't listen to them.
Yeah, Americans don't know how to use Rotten Tomatoes, regardless of whether we use it or not. People just don't understand it. And I'm so tired of trying to explain it to people. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like the dumb people who will be like, it's only a 27% on Rotten Tomato. But did you read the reviews? Because they might not be bad reviews. They might the number might not match or whatever. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I only look at reviews after I've reviewed it, usually.
That too, to kind of match it up how it is. But the way I review film, honestly, is just how that movie makes me feel in that moment. And I'm like, okay, this is a great, like there's some movies that, like I say, for example, I'll give The Conjuring a 10, right? And then I'll give a movie like Thanksgiving a 10. But it's different 10s. It's not movie quality and all this. No, Thanksgiving is not a 10 movie quality film up there with The Conjuring. As far as entertainment, as far as making you laugh, being silly, if you engage in the green stuff or you engage in alcohol, it makes it one of those things, or like a friend watch or something like that, or a watch party thing. And I review it every year. It's a tradition. Stuff like that. It's not like a film I'm going to watch every single month. Like, what? No, this is a once a year type of film, maybe twice a year, both in November. That's it.
I hear you, man. I gave Jackass 4 a 5 out of 5 on my podcast, and everybody was looking at me like I'm nuts. And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, everything was so depressing, like, in the world when I went and sat down in the theaters to watch this movie. And it gave me everything and exceeded everything I expected them to give me. So, of course, it's a 5 out of 5. I laughed so hard. I'm not going into it looking for Schindler's List. Like,
see, and that right there is the biggest problem, I feel like, not with everybody, but with some people, is like, I'll use Cocaine Bear as a great example, which, by the way, last I checked, the movie made 52 million. I'm sure it's up more than that by now. But like, just hearing that title, and some people just like, oh, that movie has to be stupid, I'm not going to see it. And me knowing it's going to be a silly, stupid horror comedy, that's the what? Oh, I'm going to see that twice. And I went to see it twice because the wife wanted to see it and one of my boys wanted to see it. So, like, perfect. Friday, Saturday, boom. And it was an enjoyable movie. I had a great time with it. But I can see some people going into that movie, especially not thinking. Again, especially keyword, not thinking, not paying attention to clues, not paying attention to whatever. They hear Cocaine Bear, they hear based on true events, and they think it's more based on the true events than it is just it based on a bear getting in cocaine. And then that's it. That's it with the truth for Cocaine Bear. That's it, people. That's it. It's an enjoyable movie, and I loved it. I'm going to keep championing it because you guys need to get it. And Bloodlake.
One more news story, and that is Jenna Ortega is in talks. Hopefully this is real. It's being reported by reputable news sources, but she is in talks to be in Beetlejuice 2 as Lydia Dietz's daughter, and
I'm in.
1,000% in.
I love it. And what I like even more about it is they already have a chemistry from Wednesday. They already have some sort of chemistry from Wednesday. Yes, it would be a different type of chemistry, but at the same time, it'd be very similar because how they were in the beginning with the kind of like the mother, you know what I mean? She kind of looked over her like a motherly type of thing in a sense. And I'm sure on set there got close, cool, all that stuff, of course. But, and on top of that, it's dope because she plays Wednesday, and then, which of course we know Winona Ryder played, and now she's playing her daughter in another show, or, you know what I mean? And movie, sorry. And I'm like, yes, which I wouldn't be mad if instead they did Beetlejuice 2, they made Beetlejuice a series. I'm just throwing that out there. Made it a series. It could only be 2 or 3 seasons. I'm fine with that. But I'm just saying. Put it on a streaming service, Shudder, you know.
I prefer TV too. So anytime somebody asks me movie or TV, I'm always going to say TV. But I'm not a huge fan of the Johnny Depp, Tim Burton films that they made together. I liked the musical one, Sweeney Todd. I thought that was pretty good. And then there's maybe 1 or 2 other movies. But if Tim Burton and Jenna Ortega are going to be the new Tim Burton Johnny Depp, I'm in. Like I can't wait to see Beetlejuice. More Michael Keaton is always a good thing.
Oh my
Michael Keaton
gosh.
is like sweetener in your coffee. You can never have too much.
I apologize because Michael Keaton is one of those actors. You're like, yeah, that's my guy. That's my dude. He's awesome. I mean, to me, he's Batman still. I don't care what anybody says. He's my favorite Batman. He's the best live action Batman that I've seen. And I'm sticking with that. I wish they made a Batman Beyond and he was the Bruce Wayne in that movie, the older Batman. Make it happen. Make it happen. But that's different. That's different. Michael Keaton and Beetlejuice. Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And the reason why, and this is why I say I'd rather have a series, because it's like I believe that Beetlejuice 2, I know it's years and years and years later, but I believe that it can still be a good, fun film. And I say that because the way, as good as they did Wednesday, I'm hoping they borrow ideas from that and kind of figure out the positives from that and figuring out like, okay, this is what we need to do to kind of make this really work for us and kind of, but I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. And that's something that I will definitely be going to see in theaters when that comes out, because I can't tell you if I've seen the first one in theaters or not. I don't even know what year it came out. I doubt I've seen it in theaters. I wasn't in theaters a lot as a kid growing up. Here and there we were in the drive-ins here and there for some things, especially with friends and stuff. But that was more in my teen years and definitely my adult life that I'm in these theaters and loving it.
I saw Beetlejuice in theaters, but it was recently. It wasn't back when it came out. I don't think I saw it when it came out.
Kids, oh my goodness. I don't like teenagers in theaters, guys, by the way. I'm at that age.
I'm at that age too, man. I was at Target the other day and they were like running up and down the aisles. I'm like, ugh.
And then you think about like, was I like this? And I think about, I'm like, I was kind of in the middle. I'll say yes and no, because there's certain things like the movies I want to go to. If I'm going to the movies, 9 times out of 10, especially with the teen years, of course, adult years, but I'll say the teen years, for the most part, you're paying your own ticket anyway. So it's like, I'm going to shut up. I don't want to get in trouble. I want to actually come and see this movie. And then when you got fools in there talking, it's like, oh my God. Like, I hated it as a teen. I hated it as a kid. I hated it. I think I was movie.
I've always hated people that talk through movies. That's always been one of my biggest pet peeves. Mm-hmm. I was an idiot and stuff running through the Target aisles with my friends, but never messed with the movies. Like, no, we didn't. That was my special place. It still is my special place.
Yeah, and it's honestly like running through a store or running through a mall just feels like something kids would do. That's just like, I mean, it does. As harmless as annoying as it can be as an adult, as long as they're not doing anything stupid, you know what I mean? It's harmless, just them running around. It's harmless for the most part. But, where was I going with this? Holy crap. I had a good point. I forgot where I was going with this. Damn. Oh, well. I don't remember what the heck what we were just talking about.
Running through Target in the movies.
Oh, yeah. Like you were saying, the movie is like a sacred place. Like running through the malls and all that, cool, fun. But the theater is like, okay, get your snacks, get your popcorn. If you want to have a conversation with people, whisper. I don't care if you're like, hey, this was good. This was a good part. Oh yeah, like keeping it quiet. But when you're just talking like a regular tone, like, yo, man, come on, shut up. Like,
I mean, if you're applauding and you're getting into the movie, like Star Wars screenings in the '90s, I love that experience.
That's different. That's
different. Yeah, no.
I've had 2 experiences that I can think of. One was actually mentioned. Actually, it's 2 movies I mentioned on here. The Conjuring, the first one. I'm sure you guys can guess the second one, but with The Conjuring, there was somebody in the movie, and someone yelled. She was screaming. She's like, she's like, I can't take it. I can't take it. And someone's like, well, if you can't take it, then get the F out the theater then. But they said the whole, and I was laughing so hard. But something like that doesn't bother me because it was just that done. And Cocaine Bear, just with the laughter in it, like the theatrical laughter was hilarious, and the clapping, and I enjoy that. That I can always go for. You got it in Scream too, with some laughs and some kind of oohs and ahs, but definitely some laughs. And so these past few movies I've been going to see, there's been a good amount of people in these theaters, and all I go to see in theaters is horror. So that's such an amazing thing to see. That's such an amazing thing to see. Like it's crazy. I'm not exaggerating that there's probably a few more in Scream, but there was just about as many people in Scream as there was in Cocaine Bear. And I went to go see Cocaine Bear both times. I'm talking about each one time. There was about the same amount of people both times in that. And then Scream may have had a handful more people in there, but that like stuff like that is so cool seeing that. Same with Winnie the Pooh and all the other horror movies I went and seen. There was a good amount of people. Friday the 13th, that was another really big crowd. And I'm just like, this is what we want. This is what we want to see, people. And
well, folks, Amityville in Space is indeed free to stream on Vudu. So I am on it. I will make that happen this week.
Nice.
I can't promise I'll watch the whole thing, but I will make a valiant effort to make it through the movie.
I'm going to try to watch some things. I'm going to try to get through some things this week. I'm going to try my best.
Oh my God, there's an Amityville Karen and an Amityville with a clown in it. Amityville Vampire. Where are these movies coming from?
Would you feel like
they were all released this year or last year?
You feel like you have to see them though. And here is the thing I love about horror is Jason just told us a few minutes ago that he really enjoys bad Amityville movies. He just found a ton of them that I know this man is going to watch all these movies, and I hope he does finish them. I should...
Amityville Island with the shark. People, what is happening? How many Amityville movies did they release in 2022? Like, I want to know. Amityville Clown House.
let's talk, Jason. I got an idea behind the scenes.
Amityville Scarecrow 2. I didn't know there was a Scarecrow 1.
Wow. Better see this, but again, none of those movies are just like that. None of them are like sturdy. You shouldn't watch those. It's like, if you have time, you should just check them out just to say you've seen them. Like, even though that, like, I'm not gonna say they'll never come up in conversation because it is very, very, very possible, especially like a horror convention. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but all it takes is you mentioning one of them. I feel like you mentioned one or two of ones that he just mentioned, and someone mentions another one. Boom, you got it. You got it.
I'm laughing so hard because I stumbled across Amityville in the Hood.
Oh, yeah.
The plot of the movie is a gang uses the cursed and abandoned Amity property to grow marijuana, but it soon makes its way to the streets where it's giving users a killer buzz.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, folks. I'm on it. We'll discuss bad Amityville sequels next week. Sturdy, where can everybody find you online?
So, guys, the easiest way to find me, and you can find all of my stuff, including my other show, Popcorn and Pints, which is on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff, which I know what you're thinking, Sturdy. You got to update your TikToks all over the place. I know. I'm working on that. I'm a busy guy. But anyway, you can go to horrorwithsirsturdy.com. Again, there's horrorwithsirsturdy.com. And from there, you can get my link tree. You can get my YouTube. You can get all my stuff. All my stuff, all my links, my podcast stuff. My Twitter, all that good stuff. You're going to get everything from there. So again, horrorwithsirsturdy.com. Thank you very much. Jason?
Everybody, you guys can find me at 3 Geeks Podcast everywhere. Also, we're live Sundays at 10 a.m. We might change that, but right now we like doing it super early in the morning so we can have the day with the kids or whatever. So, yeah, check us out. Every Sunday, 10 a.m.
Old people like getting up early. That's what it is.
It is.
At 5, eat their oatmeal. 10 a.m. is close to nap time, so they do their video, then they take a nap for about 3 hours. Wake up.
You in my house that day?
Wake up yelling at the kids because the house is the best, even though they were asleep for 3 hours because they needed that nap. Yep.
I woke up Sunday, like just in time to do the show. I'm like, screw time change. And then the show was over. I texted my daughter, so I'm going to take a nap. And I went back to sleep.
Yo, it's funny, but the time change threw me off, man. We'll talk about that in a minute, though. But yes, people, you can also make sure you check out the Scene Snobs. Make sure you check out the Scene Snobs. They gave us this awesome opportunity to have this amazing show. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Mick. Very grateful for that. Check out the Scene Snobs Patreon. check out all of their awesome stuff. Go to thescenesnobs.com. Just check out everything. Check out their merch. Get a shirt. Get a friendship shirt. Get something. And check out the Patreon. If you want to be a part of their live stuff, if you want to jump in them comments and you want Mick to pull your comment up on screen and say some stuff, you better get on that Patreon. You bet to get on that Patreon. Then you can catch their live show every Tuesday at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Yes, they still have the 7 a.m. show on Fridays from 7 to 10. But you want everything, people. You want everything. You want these awesome experiences.
Yeah. It's only
yes, it's only a few bucks. And here's something that's awesome, amazing, and important coming up. April 14th. I wish I had the card thing. I'll have it for you guys next week. But April 14th, Casters for a Cause is back for MS. I'm going to be there. Horror Research 30 is going to be there. I talked to my guys about Popcorn and Pints. We're going to be there. 3 Geeks going to be there.
We'll be there. We've been on all of them. We're going to be at this one.
Boom. 3 Geeks going to be there. Maybe you'll see the Scary Snobs. We'll talk about it. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm already dedicated for 2. But we'll talk because it'll be a great time. But it's a great time. It's a great cause. And it'd be amazing if you guys can all show up, and be even more amazing if we can like and share. And even more important, if you can afford to, if you can donate to this amazing charity. Again, it's April 14th. Thank you guys for everything. Have an amazing, amazing night, day, weekend, every time you're watching this. Again, check out the Scene Snobs. Check out 3 Geeks Podcast. Check out Horror Research 30. We're out of here. Peace.
Hey guys, Mick here. Thanks so much for watching the show and supporting us. We appreciate it. We appreciate you coming back and joining in the comments. But guys, I really want to thank you, our patrons who are out here supporting us, helping us keep the lights on. Really, truly appreciate you. Tim, Paul, Stacy, Matt, Aaron, AJ, George G3, Chris S, Dale, Chris H, Dan, John B, Ron, Jason, and John W. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Guys, we have 3 tiers available right now. As of March 1st, we're adding 2 more tiers for a total of 5 with tons of perks. So go check out patreon.com/thescenesnobs. And join our Snob Nation Discord channel where the moderators are keeping everything going and we're having really fun conversations over there and more. So go check it out. It's free to join and just be part of the Snob Nation. And remember to embrace the absurdity. Hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. We have tons of great shows coming out and more. Our lives are over on Patreon, but you can check out the Snob Nation Morning Drive live show on our YouTube channel Friday, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern, and tons more shows coming up thereafter. We have great shows like the Scene Snobs Podcast, Betting Bros, Math vs. Smash, Real Combat, movie reviews, and tons more. We have fun over there, and we think you will too. If you're looking for great merch, go over to the snobsmerch.com store. Use promo code SNOBS for 10% off of your order. We have tons of shirts, mugs, everything, stickers, all different types of designs. We love it. I think you will too. So go check it out and let us know what you think. Remember to follow us on all social media platforms. We are at The Scene Snobs everywhere. You can also follow Casey at Planos21 on Instagram, at Casey the Madman on TikTok, and at Twitter Night on Twitter. Guys, tons of fun stuff and new things coming out every day, so go check out our content there. Thank you guys again. We are The Scene Snobs. Embrace the absurdity with us, and we love you, and we'll talk to you